Oh my god, I haven't had that in a while.
Get on, Beybladers. Blade Bay X here. Welcome to another episode of X Tower FM. I'm of course joined by my lovely co-hosts, the Globetrotter himself, Sapphire Blaze,
Hello.
and the Thunder from Down Under, Juice BBA. You
Hello.
you may notice a little difference in the setup for this one. We are visible because we have two special guests. First of all, please say hello from behind your Cane's chicken, Mr. Jacob Pomegranate. Sorry.
What's up, guys? Hello. It's good to see you guys.
Welcome.
Repping the arrow today.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yo.
And fresh from the North American finals himself, we have the Mim Sky in the house.
Howdy.
Spoken like a true Texan.
I'm repping Michael Jackson.
What the hell?
Amazing, guys. So yeah, the big news for you guys, Anime X, the North American World qualifiers. Sapphire, I'd like to throw over to you in the early morn of the UK that you're joining us from right now. What have you got to ask these gents about their time at Anime X?
I'm sure we all have a lot of questions, but first of all, I think the thing that everyone was kind of noticing online was that entry just seemed to be absolute chaos. I mean, we'll start with you, Jacob. How did you experience the entry of the tournament?
Okay, so some people know this, I have a friend who got through the disability line, and the disability line is much shorter than the actual line. So she was able to help me get through the disability line with her. But I did.
Did you like wheel her in or something?
See,
What the fuck?
I did see how the other line was, and it was chaotic, and I have videos of it too.
Yes, so do I. I experienced the line. You did not.
In the end, it
We
didn't
were
matter.
one with the line. All of us that experienced it since 2 a.m.
That is true. In the end, it didn't matter, though. In the end, it didn't matter.
No, it did not.
You just.
All right, Mim, how was your line experience then? Sounds a bit tense.
It was intense. So, I showed up at 2:30 in the morning. No sleep. All right. Everybody else, they got at least 1 hour, if not more. And I'm over here like, all right, we're staying up all night since 10 a.m. the previous day. And when I woke up. Never mind.
Have you slept since, bro?
I woke. It's been a lot of sleeping. It's been a lot of sleeping.
I'd be surprised. He never sleeps.
I know, right?
I want to sleep.
I'll have him calling me at like 4 a.m.
So,
every time.
128 players. How many people would you say were in the line trying to get in?
300 something, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was definitely over 300.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, for a first nationals, that's a good show up. Like, I know they didn't, of course, all get to play, but like for people turning up, like showing interest, trying to get in there, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was super dope.
That's it. Were there any?
I feel bad though, but you know.
Yeah. Were there any like complete crash outs during the queuing process? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes, there was.
Oh shit. Is this?
There was literally people fighting.
Well, they didn't just bay battle.
Damn.
Like
Anime style. Yeah.
That was amazing. But fist fighting so you can get into
it was pure chaos.
bay battle. I love it. That should be
TMS. You said it was like Squid Games or something, right?
Yes, I basically called it the equivalent of Beyblade Squid Games. And it was.
That's amazing.
You went from basically being one of 350 some people all the way down to potentially the champion. That is quite literally, and it like out of all the steps to get closer and closer, the amount of people dwindled down dramatically. So like just to get into the first entry line was one, not to get hurt, or two, be one of the first 180, knocking out over half the competition already off the bat. And then from there, you have to be one of, you got to go through 4 rounds of just straight up single elimination. Your opponent is whoever is up next in that round with you. You battle them, you win, you move on to the next round until you hit round 4, where if you win, you get like a mini checkpoint at round to be one of the top 8, but you have to be within that first 8 to make it in.
Roche just described the tournament.
Interesting format.
It's crazy, bro. You gotta win matches if you want to go forward.
It was stressful, okay?
No, but I'm imagining the little run for the line more like a Takeshi's Castle kind of like opening round, and Craig Charles commentating over the top. That'd be like,
Oh, there was
definitely
so many.
more. It was definitely more stressful than the G3 I went to in Japan.
oh, for sure.
But yeah, just it was just less. I just wish they did the signups the way they did in Japan. That it was so much more seamless. And I actually had I actually got to take a breather. Like literally, as soon as you signed up, you had no breathing room at all. It was just immediately like, all right, you're battling now.
Wow. They were like,
That's
Yeah.
mad.
we've got a couple
I mean,
hours
hopefully
slot.
they kind of learn from that. Right?
We're not going over it.
So in terms of the parts that were usable in the tournament, I heard that the list was changing right up to like almost a week before the event. Did this kind of affect your guys' deck for the day?
Yes, a little bit. Because for me, and I'm sure TMS knows too, we didn't think Cobalt Dragoon on Elevate was going to be legal until like the last minute when we found out. And the reason why it was changed was because there's some SoCal organizers from the WBO that ended up getting staffed in the event, and they knew that Wellwave and Silverwolf and Samurai Saber were like being given out and showing up at stores. So they told the TT people about that, and the TT people basically were like, "Oh, if that's the case, if people have Elevate, if people have Level, if people have Silverwolf, then we're gonna allow those."
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Were they the shops though? Like, were they officially released, or they just
No,
stores releasing it
Early launch, early.
people were just
Yeah,
stores were just releasing it early.
I've got,
I'm mad.
other than the early release stuff, just because you've brought it up now, I've got some questions on the legal parts and stuff. Because from an outsider for like America and like the Hasbro kind of like tournaments and stuff, when you're looking at the parts that are legal, like I miss what wave you guys are on and stuff like that all the time. But to my understanding, it was just the Hasbro parts. Were TT recolors allowed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. TT recolors were allowed, but no metal coats. No metal coats were
Okay.
allowed.
And then my other question was,
That's different for us.
what official Hasbro release has come out so far that Kick was part of?
Hell's Reaper.
Hell's Reaper was allowed, was it?
Yes.
Okay.
All the CX bays have been released.
Okay, cool. Because I haven't seen that. Because the only kicks I saw getting used were the yellow recolor. And,
So the recolors didn't matter as long as it was the same bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not what
Min's
we
got one of those
had,
cards.
No.
man.
Ha.
Australia was different. We had to have we could have the recolors, but only what Hasbro has released. So that yellow
Damn.
kick we could not have. We could have the red kick from Reaper, but anything like obviously no coats. The blue Phoenix Wing, that's about it for the Phoenix Wings and the red one, I guess. But yeah,
No,
we
yeah,
had
because
ours was very much more limited.
no, yeah, I don't. Was there like a lot of TT people at your guys' stuff?
No,
That's probably why then, because there was a lot
as far
of
as I know.
there was Blader Ken was there, the heads of Beyblade, Maruki, I think, or I forget how to pronounce his name, and there was a lot of other people from TT there, and they were like, "Oh, you guys have TT Beyblades? And they're like all like yes, and they're like okay, because Takara Tomy wanted to play in the Takara Tomy Stadium. They didn't want to play in the Hasbro Stadium either.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to play in the Hasbro Stadium
I mean,
except for
yeah.
Hasbro themselves.
We beat this though.
I mean, it'll probably all
Um,
be in the tournament stadium for you guys from now on, though. I imagine the next time.
Yes, it will. It will. It will. It will. I talked to 80K management, and they told me yes, because they told me they said okay. I didn't sign an NDA for this, so I think I can say it. I think I told you too, TMS, that
Yeah.
they're planning to release the Wide Extreme Stadium through Amazon. And there might bump up the release of the Takara Tomy Stadium as well.
Hell yeah.
I went to get a Wide Extreme Stadium.
Yes, it's just going to be Amazon
Wide.
exclusive.
Wide Extreme. Is that the 3-player one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one we used for like 10 days after it released, and then
I bought it. I haven't used mine. It's still at the. I left it at
Didn't have
the
it.
shop.
I've hosted a couple tournaments in mine, but I
It's all right.
don't really use it myself for anything much.
I mean, it seems fun. I just haven't gotten.
I use it to hold a bunch of stuff, but
Yeah, no,
Damn.
That's the bucket stadium. That's the storage.
I've got
oh, true.
It holds everything.
wardrobe like type thing over there that the top kind of like shelf of it is just like different stadiums, and the wide stadium is in my I don't know if you guys have seen them before the official release for Beyblade X. They did like the pre-release like a couple weeks before, where you could go and you get like the the red line stadium when that was still like early exclusive, and it came in like a little plastic drawstring bag thing for stadiums.
I got mine as well. I still got mine.
Yeah, it's like wrapped up in that little bad boy, keeping the dust off it. All right.
Well, in terms of the combos that you guys were using, Jacob, what was your 3, or did you change? Were you allowed to change your deck throughout the tournament, or was it?
So I only played on the one-on-one portion, where I used Cobalt Dragoon Elevate, because it's pretty free in the Hasbro Stadium. It's really easy. It's much easier to outspin stuff in the Hasbro Stadium than the TT Stadium, in my opinion. Especially since Hasbro ratchets, in my opinion, are also really tight. So you have less burst resistance, burst
ability.
Yeah, more burst resistance. Yes.
Okay.
No, yeah.
So just to confirm, was it single bay, single elimination?
Yes. First to
Okay,
4.
all right.
Japan format, pretty much.
Well,
What were
with
you
mine,
planning
I
on
was
using
able.
for your? Oh, sorry.
You were
let's
able
finish
to.
with Jacob.
Sorry.
What were you?
Shut the fuck up, man.
We'll get to you. Jacob, what were you planning on taking for your second and third base if you made it to the top 8?
So I'll tell you the original plan before I found out that Dragoon Elevate was legal, and stuff like that. My original plan was Phoenix Wing on 360 low rush, Hover Wyvern on 960 kick, and Wizard Rod on 160 rush. And then it ended up changing to Cobalt Dragoon 560 elevate, Hover Wyvern 960 kick, and Wizard Rod 160 rush.
Fair enough. Of course, Mim, you actually got to use the 3-player deck. How did you find the battling experience, and what was your deck?
So a lot of it felt like a fever dream to me. So going through all 4 rounds was like, oh my goodness, I'm kind of getting like thrown around, and then finally put into where I did make it into top 8. For the first like single limb battles, I used 2 different combos, that being Wizard Rod 160 Hexa, and the second being Cobalt Dragoon 160 Elevate. For my first round, I used Rod, and then for second on, I used Dragoon. And then once I finally got to top 8 and onwards, I continued with Rod 160 Hexa, switched out 160 on Dragoon to 360, kept the Elevate. And then for my third, originally I was going to go with, if you talked to me at the start in the morning, I was going to go Hover Wyvern 960 Rush. But I ended up switching on out from Hover to TB kind of last minute. So
Fair enough.
So that for me is really
People kind of
interesting.
playing with like, oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, because you have so much freedom there to, like, say, especially during the nationals, to like mix your combos around, and like during the one-on-ones change them around and then switch up stuff before deck. We're super used to you registering your deck and your deck's order like the morning of the tournament, and then you hand your deck and your launcher, and if you want a spare launcher in case they break, you hand all of that in then and there, and you don't see them apart from during your matches. So it's like that's like quite if, because we have a lot of like listeners from like Southeast Asia and Asia that are on the channel, they'll probably find that quite interesting, that especially during the nationals you get to like switch up your deck so much. That's like, it probably means absolute, because you're probably used to that for all your normal tournament stuff, but for me, that right now, that's like,
Well, it's only one-on-one that we got to switch out.
Yeah.
Once
It was
we
only one-on-one.
got into top 8, whatever 3 we had were locked in. But we could, after every opponent, we could change the order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you have to like hand over your stuff to them, or did you get to keep that shit with you?
Yeah. So while we were setting up for top 8, they made us put all our Beyblades that we chose in new Takara Tomy deck boxes and what launchers we were going to be using. And then they took 10-15 minutes to check our bays. And my bay, one of my bays, they came back to me, and I was the only one, I believe, that they came back to and said, "Hey, your wizard rod is way too worn down to use."
Yeah.
And they also told me, saying, like, if the second bay you choose comes back in and it's also too worn down, we're just gonna have to give you a rental deck.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I had the choice of using a semi-worn down one, still had all the details, just more rounded, and then basically a fresh one that still had the clear coat on it. And I didn't want to risk it, so I said, all right, I'm using the one with the clear coat. It's going to have more recoil, but, that's how it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's safe, yeah.
That sounds way more familiar to me, because they're very stringent on the condition of your bays and stuff for official tournaments. Like, I'm literally keeping like my potential blades and bits and stuff like that like fresh and not used for nationals at the start of next month, because if it's a bit too worn down or whatever, even a little bit, or like you've got someone doing the judging when you're handing your stuff in for deck inspection earlier in the day, they might just be like, nah, they're like always there, like really looking in your launches and like sniffing to see if there's been any kind of like solvents or oils been used on them and shit like that. Like,
did you guys have that, the parts inspections? Like,
we had the part inspections at top 8 for sure, and then for single parts or single battles, it was up to judges to recognize.
Yeah, the judges were taking our Beyblades apart and like identified our launchers and stuff.
Okay.
Pretty much.
We had the same with the Australian one, but some of the judges half-assed it and didn't do what they were meant to do.
No,
Classic.
Most of our judges did do that though. They didn't like half-ass it really. I think there might have been some, but most of them were like kind of briefed on that stuff because of the WBO staff we had there.
Right, so everyone there they were aware of like the rules and stuff, because we had we had people that didn't really know, but they were just like briefed on what the rules are beforehand.
Yeah, I actually what's it called? 2 of the girls that were judging, I actually taught Beyblade X to them like completely, like how to launch it really well and like stuff like that.
What was that? They not had any Beyblade experience before judging that day?
So
Just on the
they've
day?
no, so they've launched before and they knew how to like make a combo and stuff, but they never knew like launch tech and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, oh shit, like, are they just learning the rules of Beyblade that day? And then, like, which
No,
again,
no.
is
Some of
such,
them like knew.
like, and not throw any shade on any other organizations I've worked for before because I've done a lot of judging and reffing for other sports and stuff. There are a lot of like what events being run that you wouldn't expect to have people trained like the night before or the day of, but they just fucking get someone in like me usually to just fucking teach them the format and all the judging and like reffing rules like within an hour, and then it's like go time. Let's run this for the first time.
No, yeah, we had I think three people, 3 or 4 people from the WBO from the WBO staffing it, and they got promoted to head judge as
Hmm.
well. So they were also teaching the other judges everything.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. I'll just say, just because
I
we're in Asia and stuff, like for people listening that aren't 100% sure on what it is, WBO is a kind of like what would it be, like a fan source,
Yes.
like organization for like Beyblade that's mainly across like America and like West Europe and
Canada.
stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, sorry,
I
Juice.
have a few questions, but like nothing like crazy. Just
Mhm.
generic stuff. Did Eddie play? Because I think he was there,
Yes.
right?
He
And
did play.
how far did he
He
get?
made it to round 3 or 4, I think. I forget.
And then is that the same as Noah as well?
No. Can I explain what happened to Noah?
Sure.
Yeah, this is great.
So basically, he was around the same area I was when I was lining up. But basically, what happened when we were getting in line, people were pushing each other out of the line. People were trying to get in the line ahead of people, whatever. And he like didn't know what was going on, and he was just walking around. And then he ended up just finding himself at the end of the line, and he was like, "Oh, this is the end of the line." So he was like, so I literally saw him count, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not making this thing." So he left the line, went over to the to where like you do the signups, and he was like, "Hi, I'm Left Burst. This is my sub count. Can I officially join you guys to record the event?" And they're like, "Oh my god, you have so many subs. Sure."
No
And then they
shot.
gave him
This is real?
yes.
Yep.
Oh my god. He
So,
actually did it.
Love
What
it.
a fucking
hang on.
madman.
So did he just film or did he play?
He just filmed. He didn't play.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay.
I saw him. I saw him do an exhibition match. That was
Yes.
crazy.
Yes,
Oh,
he
that's
did.
what it was. Okay, so that's why I thought he played. I thought that was one of his matches.
No, yeah, they
Okay.
literally
Uh,
like they're literally like, "Oh, let's give you a shirt," and then they took him around and like they're like, here's your shirt."
Oh, Mim, do you still have that jersey?
Yes, I
One of those
do.
shirts? Put it on,
Yeah,
Mim.
a different kind of shirt. They what they were wearing was a t-shirt that said the word official on it.
Oh, you got
No.
shoot.
No,
The
Yeah, but
What's
you
it
got the
nonsense.
called?
jersey,
No
right?
Yeah, the
nonsense.
nonsense.
yeah,
I have to
that's what we're
I have to
talking
give
about.
one of those
Let's
away
go.
actually, because I went to the nonsense booth and they were talking to me and Eddie, and they were like, "Oh, can we like give you guys shirts to give away on your channels and stuff?" So I
Hell
was like,
yeah.
"Sure."
Yeah, I'm a
I
fan of
know this
those.
thing's
They're
awesome.
nice.
I love it.
Yeah, and actually, I got to talk to the guy who like did it too, the anime man guy, Joey.
Joey,
Oh, Joey.
he was
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he,
found
he
out yesterday. Yeah,
yeah
him and Sea Dog with it.
yeah. I got to
Oh
talk to
shit.
him, and he asked to see my Beyblades, and I like opened up my case, and he was like, "Oh shit."
If I knew he was gonna be there, because they did a stream recently for Beyblade,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it went really well. It was a lot of fun. But like,
yeah.
obviously they don't really know.
No,
But
yeah, I
if
talked to him
I knew
about that
that,
actually. I talked to him about that too, and yeah, I told him what combo he should have used. He was like, "I know."
for Wizard
I
Rod,
realized, no, yeah, for Wizard Rod, he was like, "I know."
yeah.
I realized that later. I'm such a dumbass. But I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah. He really thought he had it with that. He got done dirty.
No,
Well, he did
yeah.
it to himself, but
No, yeah, it's fine though.
So,
that's crazy. I didn't know they were there.
before we go back to maybe some judging talk and stuff, because we're talking about combos and stuff. Mim, out of your deck, I've got my own opinion because people were asking me before your guys' North American tournament what combo I would recommend them take to the Hasbro Stadium, especially for one-on-one format. What would you say was the MVP of your deck on the day?
Of my deck, of actual work done, I would have to say my Dragoon combo. But personally, I really liked my Rod Hexa combo.
Yeah, yeah, that was my pick for everyone to go for was a Rod on Hexa, either 960 or 160 recommendation.
Yeah.
I should have done it.
But what would you say, like, converse to that was like the biggest boogeyman of the tournament? Because over here we don't have an official release for Wyvern yet, so like we're looking at that thing and we're very excited to get it, but we're seeing it used like a lot for you guys right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
There was 3 for for what I battled. The first one obviously was Rods and Dragoons. That was what you expected through it all. But the actual 2 was Hover. Hover was in a very annoying bay to battle against.
Mm.
Very unpredictable. I
Upset
would
the
have gotten
pocket.
2 points on on the semifinals, but it bounced out last second. I'm like, oh god, dang it.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the judging things I want to talk about is your guys the up and down nature of the judging of over finishes and stuff and timings, and that is something I want to ask about. But yeah, sorry, carry on.
But the weirdest one had to be the different kind of rod combos that you would see in this kind of tournament.
Broad
Yeah.
rush and low rush.
Yeah, and then no rod trans point and a rod
Yeah.
gear point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Were there a lot of trans point and gear point being used?
No.
Gear point, yes.
Oh yeah, gear point, but not trans point.
Yeah, no, Transpoint was a unique one. That was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was cool.
I find that really throws you off when you're at like a larger tournament and you're like you've been
Just a
prepping for like
bit.
meta combos and stuff, and someone pulls out a fucking Vice Tiger or like a crossover bay or something. You're like, how do I play against this again?
Yeah. Like, how did I get this far and this thing's here?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So are you guys? Because I know you guys talk about attack being like the main meta for you guys. Is attack rod like the big issue in the format for you guys right now?
Yes.
Is that like the boogeyman?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I called it a
Eh.
boogeyman.
Mm.
It got a lot of shine in the spotlight for things where it just got extremely lucky on.
I would say that attack rod is like pretty consistent though. It's not like the most like broken thing,
But it's
the-
unexpected consistent.
yeah, pretty much.
So
Yeah.
I'm famously not an attack rod conveyor myself. I like to play more crit hitting attack combos. I find rod
Yeah.
is like it's almost like you're building more of a balanced combo out of it because you're looking for a lot of
Yeah,
spin
I
finishes
agree.
against other attack combos, but your KOs
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
are normally like you push motherfuckers out of the stadium rather than you get like a big impact or something. It's like
No,
a,
yeah.
it feels like a
I
puck
think
shoving
the
stuff around.
I think the main reason attack rod is so prominent is because rod ball in the Hazard Stadium actually sucks.
Oh, it really did suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually like it was probably actually like not even gonna lie, probably the worst decision someone could make is using rod ball in the Hasbro
My
Stadium.
first round opponent used rod 960 ball.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it really like I mean I copped a bunch of hate at different periods for not having that much love for the Hasbro Stadium. And one thing I just try and reiterate to people is it just feels like a different game. Like you just have to change.
It's more RNG.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
it, like
It's not, well, yes, RNG, but
Mhm.
also you had to make a powerful, skillful decision right at the start because that really impacted a way of how your base going to move and then where it's going to land up.
Yeah, you can still do a B-side drop. It's just like the B-side drop only lasts for like a second.
yeah. I was messing around. I've actually got it. It's never out really, but I've got the Hasbro Stadium, and it was in my little stadium stand. The kind of like couple weeks building up to the US, the North American, sorry, championships, and I was just practicing like what tech out of the stuff I usually use I can pull off in there. And yeah, I have to agree. Like the drops are shorter, and even hitting like the sweeping drops, getting behind the X line and stuff, is like minimal stall time before you just kind of like you got like an extreme dash, and then it's a lot of settling in the center unless you're well, you find yourself in the center, which forces a lot of clashes when you're actually battling.
The best thing I noticed with Hasbro Tech is what's that one called where you can like stall up on the B side and then like carry yourself over to the top of the X side?
Oh, like a
Forget what that-
50-50.
Yeah. That one is probably the best tech in Hasbro because you're stalling up there for a longer time.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, sick, man. Like, yeah, I mean, we got a lot of sweaties that get involved in the Discord and stuff, so they want to hear about that. But when you guys were prepping, like the moment you heard it was going to be in the Hasbro Stadium, did you change up stuff other than your combo building? Did you practice specific launches for the Hasbro Stadium? Because I think about everything because like recently I just went to Singapore and I got to play in like 6 tournaments, and pretty much every tournament was on a different height stand, and that really affects like how I do my launch tech and stuff. And I ended up dropping like losing the grip and just going like launcher in hand for stuff and switching certain things up. Did you guys know you're going to be like playing on like your knees on the floor, and then you had to get to the stand later on, and like the height of the stand? Did you know these things, and did they affect your preparation at all?
Just a bit there. With the whole floor thing, I had theorized it by looking through past world footage.
Yeah.
And a lot of the national and regional stuff that had always been on the floor for the most part, except for kind of like the final little battles.
Did you
So
were you
I
expecting like fucking
theorized it. I was
raps?
ready for it. Yeah. And I do a lot of my combo testing on the floor anyways, so I was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of used to it at that point. Plus, it for a lot of my early so many months of when I started doing competitive tournaments, I was a Hasbro only main. So I had a lot of experience with using just Hasbro parts and just dealing with that compared to TT.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I stopped talking to you during that period. What
That's
about
crazy.
for you, Jacob? Because I know your normal, if I'm not mistaken, is it still like grip, winder launcher, extended ripcord, like your typical kind
And
of
Battle Pass.
yeah, like
Yeah. So okay, so because SoCal, we have a lot of tournaments, like a lot of tournaments every week, like especially leading up. We had like I think we had a whole challengers, a whole regional based for the World Championship even, which I'm sure you might have heard of in your Discord from some of our people too.
I've seen a lot of it.
So the thing that was very because it ended up making our region really divided because a lot of people couldn't decide what was going to happen. So no one likes the Hasbro Stadium here. So a lot of people were like, we're not playing in the Hasbro Stadium. We're just going to do everything at Takara Tomy Stadium. Except for San Diego, which, spoiler alert, 2 of the top 2 people were from our San Diego area. But the thing is that we didn't practice in the Hasbro Stadium at all. And then like at the last minute when we did our like regional, we changed it to like the Hasbro Stadium. But it was like really jank because we did Hazard Stadium first to 5 points. Like it was basically like WBO, but Hasbro only. Basically. So our practice wasn't it was supposed to be for Worlds, but it wasn't exactly for Worlds either because the format was still really weird. We literally SoCal literally only had a week of practice before the actual tournament in Hasbro Stadium. And a lot and like the people who were taking it serious, like me, Lion, and stuff, we were like stressed the fuck out. Like a lot. like we literally did our casual Wednesday thing that I actually just came from right now, like last week. And we brought 2 Hasbro stadiums and we were just on the ground on like wood floor, just like launching it, and we're like, all right, which combo do you guys think is going to work best, whatever. And then when we found out about the parts change, which happened on like Thursday last week, which was 2 days before the actual tournament, we were like, fuck, we don't have time to like host a tournament or anything. So we all just like made an announcement. We're like, if you're going to AX and you want to take this, just practice at night right now. Basically. So I practiced like in my room, whatever, but my knees were just like hurting, and it was like absolutely horrible. But the good thing is that the tournament actually had pretty nice padding, so my knees didn't hurt as much as regularly. but yeah, it was very unfortunate that we didn't get more time to practice it. But it's fine.
Yeah. No, I can sympathize.
Meanwhile,
Yep.
meanwhile, on Texas's side, at least group wise that I attended, we had about 3 of them before we left to go to LA. We had about 3 practices that lasted for like 5-6 hours, and we just did constant King of the Hill, try to make it survive for 7 straight rounds, and each person did another thing, different combo. We presented 3, picked one bay, and it was like, okay, and it all depended on which side you wanted and you took over, so you were constantly practicing on whichever side. And it was, it was an interesting challenge of like going through everything and having your base ready. But we did not spend weeks practicing. We did about 3 practices. I practiced some stuff at my own place. I practiced up in different tournaments with other guys that were wanting to practice, and that was really about it until we got to LA, where we practiced each and every day until nationals. And even then, in the morning, we kept practicing.
I like that Mim's like, yeah, so we didn't get like much practice. We just practiced every second of every fucking day, everywhere I went, constantly.
It was literally, we didn't practice much until we reached LA, okay?
We didn't practice much until we didn't stop practicing.
Exactly.
Nah, that's
no,
good.
It's good though. You guys had you had 2 people that made top 8 still, so that's really good.
We brought 9 people from Texas on up. Meanwhile, how many did y'all have? I'm actually curious.
From SoCal? Oh,
yeah.
I've
heard that like the number was like 40.
I think it was around there, honestly.
Dang.
Because I literally don't like there was a lot of us there. I really don't have the numbers. I want to say at least 30 of us.
Okay.
Damn, that's
at the very
a lot
least.
of background characters for Mim. Let's go,
Mim, do you have your bronze strand sword nearby? He sold it already.
Fuck you, by the way, Mim.
It's sold.
I don't have it with me at this current moment.
Bro lost it.
It's still in his ass. He's still enjoying it.
The big one.
Is that Timu?
Shit out
Is
of
that Timu Wizard Rod? Timu Wizard Rod.
It's a Timu rod with magician or whatever the fuck you call it.
Yeah.
While he's looking for that,
Wand.
Sapphire, I haven't heard you speak in a while. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, Jacob. So I know you were speaking to the TT people. Who specifically were you speaking to, and what were the major revelations from those?
Oh, you got a
You
G2
know?
launch. Sorry, just because I saw you got the G2 launches as well for winning, did
Yeah,
you? That's
they-
cool.
they
That's
got
Yes,
cool.
both.
they added it in last minute
That's
for
cool.
The
us.
Browns one, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Nice.
look at this. It's
Whoa,
so
look at
cool.
that.
Bro's gonna
So
drop
cool.
it. Don't
We're
drop
envious
it.
right now.
I'm so pissed. I'm so pissed that they've changed it to Dran Brave. I want Dran Sword back.
And then,
Oh, look at that.
bro,
Dang.
it's silky smooth string too.
That's a $2,000 rip right now.
Wait, what?
He's holding like 4K in his hands.
I got my gold.
What?
I got my gold
Oh,
one
shit.
still wrapped up, and I've got my silver one unpacked. So, damn.
That's crazy.
I'm actually
Um,
holding
I wish our nationals
so
were
much.
like G2 size as well. That'd be like, that'd be amazing.
That's crazy. But the TT people I talked to, I talked to Blader Ken, who was the GM of the tournament. I talked to him for an hour, I think. I talked to him for an hour, basically just talking about X, because I also talked to the MC Isla or Iley. I forget how to pronounce her name. Isla. I talked to her for like 3 hours almost. Like I talked to her on Friday for an hour, and then I talked Saturday for like almost 2 hours. And
Damn.
no, yeah, and apparently, and funnily enough, I found out that she is from Los Angeles too. I found out that she's from Los Angeles, despite being like lives in Japan, but she, like, I guess her family like moved to Los Angeles for when she went to high school, and then as soon as she graduated high school, she went back to Japan.
Mm.
And then but Ken, I ended up meeting him because I was talking to Isla, and she was just like, "Oh, you should talk to Ken because you're telling me a lot of awesome stuff that like he has more information on." So I was like, "Okay." So I like walked up to him and I was like, "Hi, I'm Jay. I heard of you. Like I heard that you're the American that went to Japan and like topped a G3." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I did." And he was like, "Oh, that's so cool. We didn't know that like Americans took that much interest to like come to Japan and participate in our tournaments." And I was like, "Yeah, it was really sick." I like went on about that, and then he asked how our scene in like America is, and I told him like, oh, how big it is. I told him about the WBO, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like some of our like judges told us about that too." And I asked him, I was like, "Oh, well, I was curious to ask, how is like Hasbro, how is it going with Hasbro to get tournaments here? Because we've been very adamant about having them like take place here. We want official tournaments, just like how they have B4 tournaments in Asia." And he just sighed and was like, "We really want you guys to have them too. Like, we want to bring what we have in Asia over as well." And then he just basically said, like, there's a lot of talking heads above him that are trying to work things out, but it's very challenging, he said. And then I kind of was like, "Oh, is it like Hasbro?" And he just gave me a look, and like I was just like, I think I understand." And but he basically just said that like, yeah, our TT people are trying to go through 80K to go to talk to Hasbro, but Hasbro is being challenging about it and like being difficult and like whatever and stuff like that. And he just basically said that hopefully by 2026 we have what we have in Asia in the West, because he said that's what they want genuinely. And then I mentioned the WBO again, and then he said that he wants to message someone from the WBO, but preferably through like SMS or something. I don't know, SMS or like a following. And then he asked if like anyone has like a lot of followers from the WBO and stuff like that, because I guess that's one thing they're looking for as well, is that like they want a lot of people, they want the people they're working with for tournaments to have followers to get a general audience interested in Beyblade X in the United States and the West. as well.
So essentially, whenever there's something
I have
going wrong with a competitive hobby, it's Hasbro's fault. That's pretty apparent across the board of hobbies.
No, yeah.
So Jacob,
It's
I have to
quite
ask, you
sad.
probably didn't hear anything, but did you hear anything about why they decided not to do 13 plus events in other regions outside of Asia?
So I asked about that. He didn't give me a direct answer besides that Hasbro told them, like, because Hasbro, I guess Hasbro told TT for the US not to expect many people to come. And I
Just
guess they
delusional.
no, yeah, and I guess they they asked about like other countries too, but it was very like it was very like he couldn't say exactly why, but it just seemed like Hasbro was trying not to like deal with too much, basically.
No, I don't know if I'm allowed to share it, but like
Yes, you are.
our rep really pushed hard to get like a 13
Yeah.
plus, and I assume it's the same for you guys. Like it was not looking good for anyone. It would have just been the kids.
No, yeah, that's also what I was told too. Is because yeah, it's because like was it Takara Tomy also wasn't able to see the physicality of it. They haven't been able to, even though like they could just use the internet to like look it up and stuff, but it's a lot of it was like we don't
Mhm.
have people coming to in-person events telling us this is how many numbers are getting here and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like like they're going off a lot of word of mouth from what Hasbro is saying. And from what Hasbro is saying, they're not really, they're like saying like nothing from what I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
So
Hasbro surprisingly not able to give a lot of feedback on the hobby. They're getting zero involvement in the competitive scene.
no, yeah. And I talked to 80, I got like 80K. I got 80Ks, some of their business cards and like stuff like that. I'm not sure how 80K works for anything outside of the US and Canada. I'm not sure if they're also like liaisons for like Europe too and stuff. But from when I talked to the 80K people I talked to, it was very interesting because like the head person of 80K that I talked to, she didn't seem very, how do I say, not like, she just didn't seem very aware of anything and was just it just she just seemed like I just want to get my job done type of thing. Like she didn't like seem like she actually cared that much. Like I like for example, me and Eddie, Eddie Beyblade, we walked up to her and we were talking about stuff, and she just seemed like she wanted to get out of the conversation as quick as possible. However, the other lady that we spoke to, she was very very interested in Beyblade X, and she like actually seemed like she enjoyed it, enjoyed watching it, and enjoyed being like a person that could help it. Like she was the one that told us, "Oh, expect the Wide Extreme Stadium to release soon, you guys." Wink, and like stuff like that. Because she was like, she was the one that was like, "Oh yeah, we want to take care of the stadium for you guys, so you can use, because we want that to be our main stadium to use and like all this stuff." But the other lady was just not like that.
Can you explain like what ADK is and how it's related to Hasbro and TT?
80K is basically the middleman between TT and Hasbro.
Okay.
Google Translate.
Yes, they basically are Google Translate, and they're also the people who decide the English names for the Beyblades as
Oh,
well.
they're the motherfuckers we can blame then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, they're the ones who changed
Why did they
Hell's
change
Scythe
colours?
to
Incendio.
yeah, Reaper Incendio or whatever. Yeah.
Amazing.
No, yeah. It was so, oh my god, that was so funny too, by the way. Because was it when I talked to Ken and Alia, like I was like, "Oh yeah, Wizard Rock is like so good, whatever." And they're like, oh, Wand Wizard, and I was like, Wizard Rod, and they're like, we call wait what? Because they're like, wait, but it's called Wand. Use the actual translated name.
Yeah.
And then it was so funny because with Alia, I hope I'm not getting her in trouble by saying this, but when I mentioned Wizard Rod, I was like, I understand why they might have changed it because it could be seen as an innuendo as of sorts, and she like laughed and was like, yeah.
Confirmation: Wizard Rod changed to Wand Wizard because of innuendos.
It was
Goddamn
funny
wrong.
during like final three because they were calling out the names, and every once in a while there was a little slip up that they would say, and it's like, oh wait, it's this name instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched
Bloody Rod.
Mem, I watched your matches earlier. It's the only matches I've really watched from the tournament. I watched shout out to Versus Endev, Pinoy brother over in America there. His footage of the tournament, and it just jars my. I know it's stupid. It's not like I walk around hung up on this issue like during my day-to-day life, but just hearing the different names being called out on the thing, it's for some reason it's just jarring to my brain for a moment. Just like, like
Yeah.
It's like, hold up, I know him.
yeah. But no, I'm genuinely like super stoked for you, man. Like, you guys haven't had a national champs for Beyblade since like Metal Fight, have you?
2018.
Since
2018.
yeah, 2018 is in
Oh,
burst.
did you have
there
you
was
had a
one.
burst? Okay, but yeah, still like first
Supposedly,
ex nationals. That's awesome, man.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Supposedly we were supposed to get another nationals in 2020, which makes sense with the correlation of Pro Series for Hasbro.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if this is too early to talk about either, but was it Ken did mention it to me that they're in the early stages of talking about the next world championship for next year.
Okay. So they're going straight
okay.
into
Really
yearly worlds because was it the first year of release for Beyblade X? We just had the different like Asian countries. Then we had like an Asia tournament and sorry, not an Asia, like a Japan tournament and a Southeast Asia championships. And then we had the overall like Asia championships.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they were going to do like a bi-yearly thing for the worlds where it's every 2 years for the worlds and then every interval between they do like a run of like nationals and internationals. So it'd be like a I don't know, like Hasbro like regions, like they do your guys like American nationals and like Britain whatever and everything like that, and then they host like a Western regions or a,
Western Nationals.
yeah, or like a European or like a Americas kind of like.
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
Mm.
Yeah, because when I talked to him about that, he just is like, yeah, we're in early talks of next year's world tournament is what he said.
Mm.
But I don't know. That's obviously not confirming that there's a world tournament next year. It's just that there's early talks about it. The world tournament could be next year or it could be the year after that.
Yeah.
But I know that they are trying to get another one though, especially because from what he told me, the reception at Anime Expo completely changed their view on how to view the West to the point where they're like, yeah, we need to get tournaments out here as quick as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean,
as for a stadium next time too.
yeah. One thing since the release of Beyblade X I've really appreciated from TT is they've committed to a tournament schedule like very early on.
Yeah.
So like they said with the release of it, we're going to be hosting these tournaments here. We're going to be hosting an Asia tournament by December and stuff like that. And as like a fan who likes competitive scene, like that's you may not know exactly the date yet that the G1's happening on or something like that, but you know it must be. No save there, Rory. You know it must be like around this kind of time, so you've kind of got an like idea of when to get prepped or ready for a big tournament. I think that if you guys had that for like the like Western territories, that would make a huge difference, because just knowing ahead of time that, okay, they're committing already to a nationals at this point in the year, like that's worth me like playing these tournaments and investing in their merchandise during the build up to it, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
I
yeah.
definitely agree with that.
Yeah. Sick,
Mhm.
boys. Nice. One thing I would like to jump on, because again, like you guys have said, you had like WBO staff helping out and were involved in the judging team. What was your guys' overall kind of like feeling of how the judging was handled for the event?
I want TMS. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So, at least from our perspective, it wasn't horrible because the first four, at least for me personally, it wasn't too bad. Um, first four rounds, those were dealing with all the newer kind of judges, but then top eight were the Takara Tomy guys, and then final four was Blade or Ken judging all the matches. But for as like the first four rounds, it wasn't too bad for me as I kind of gone through footage and looked through stuff. There's some questionable calls to a degree. For example, first round, my rod goes into the stadium, but it hits the stadium ground so fast and comes up on the ridge that it looks like it just hit the stadium ridge and started riding it, and they called it a redo. Um, I've heard some other things where you couldn't do a tilt launch. Um, I've heard of sniping being somewhat bad, and not called really right away or whatnot. When I had talked to the judges, they went ahead. They said to me like, "Oh, if a Beyblade gets hit in the corner or pocket, um, within 4 to 5 seconds of the bay not popping out, we're gonna call it right there."
Yeah.
But then come to the whole entire tournament day of, it was a no, we're letting it play out completely in there, regardless of the time.
Yeah, that was something from the videos that I was very curious about, because what we play, like what I'm used to is if there's like say like you said, got hit on the ridge there, like you come out of the stadium, it's a 4 second count. If it isn't back in the stadium, then it's counted as a foul. If you go into an overfinish pocket or extreme pocket, it's essentially a four count before you're officially like KO'd. You could still be spinning in that pocket or something, but once the 4 count is
Yeah.
up, it's called as an overfinish. But then I saw lots of different calls being made in, just because I haven't watched a lot of the North American tournament footage. Like I've only watched about one vid and some clips that I'm seeing through my Discord, really. And the thing I saw most kind of like inconsistent, at least, was how how or when overfinishes were announced. Because sometimes it looked to me like as soon as something went into a pocket, a judge snatched out the winning bay, and that bay, even if it didn't jump back in, it still had the potential to jump in. And I'm used to the 4 second count thing, so even it still had like time to jump back in, like because you're not allowed to like touch your Beyblade at the end of a match normally over here. You have to wait for the judge to make their official call and then select who wins. But like, and they never just like snatch it like immediately as soon as something goes in a pocket, because too many times shit jumps out and stuff. But then you would see it left for like longer, and there were, especially in the finals, there was a lot of like radical kind of like in your match especially, like jumps out of the pockets, over finished pockets. And then was it the finals or one of the other matches, like they just let someone spin in the pocket for like it was something like half
One
a
of
minute or
Alina's-
something,
Alina's matches.
like, just in case.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you
Yeah,
can
it was
you can
Wyvern
probably let
sitting in
it
the
die
pocket
now.
for just 10 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, so it didn't, again, without knowing the ruling, watching it, it seemed inconsistent and a bit odd to me. But you're saying that on the day they were just letting, the official ruling was to just let it spin for as long as
Let it
it's
stay there until all spin stopped.
okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Fair enough. And with the fouls, so it counted as a foul immediately if it just came out of the stadium even for a moment, like on the.
So as long as the bay, say, bounced from the stadium on top of the lead ridge and stayed up there for undocumented amount of time, as long as it came back into the stadium, you're chilling.
Okay.
But if it went above that little lip and went all the way out, like it did in one of my for the third place match for me, they called it a redo.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Because we get that 4-second count if it's on the ledge. If you jump back in within the 4 seconds, you're fine. But if not, it'll be a foul and a relaunch.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to
Any
talk
out of
about
stadium
that
play is
too.
redo anyway.
Yeah. I was going to talk about that too. And actually, I kind of hope some WBO people are listening to this because this is one of the things that made it confusing as well.
It's on my channel,
because
so
for the-
probably not. But carry on.
No, yeah. No, but like, so basically in the WBO ruling, it's the opposite of what you guys have, which is what I do not like. It's like if the Beyblade is up there and if it stops spinning, but if it drops back into it, then it counts.
Okay.
Like I've literally had in WBO matches, I've literally had where I went on the top of the stadium and I stayed up there and my Beyblade bursted while like on top of the shroud and it was counted as a burst when the Beyblade didn't even touch me. And I think that's something we need to change, WBO people, because it confused the people judging at the official tournament as well, because the people that and the WBO people were very familiar with WBO rules, not B4 rules.
Yeah.
And they taught a lot of judges WBO rules, not B4 rules. Where Ken did teach some people B4 rules, but not everyone.
Yeah.
So it was very split. It was very like there's some that are WBO that got WBO rule trained, and then there's some that were B4 trained.
Yeah.
So I think that inconsistency didn't help at all, because I also had something like that happen where like normally like you're not supposed to do that. Like, was it one of my judges? I think I got hit in the pocket and I didn't stop spinning yet, and they grabbed my Beyblade right out of the pocket, and they're like, "All right, this one is
because
got lost 2 points."
that's why I was getting confused about the rulings on the finishes, because I was seeing that, but then I was seeing like stuff spin for like fucking half a day, like in the pocket, and then just watching and waiting to see if anything happened. So I was like, what was the ruling?
No,
but
yeah.
That makes sense if judges are playing off of two different set of rules essentially.
No, yeah, and that's why again I say this: WBO people, you need to align yourself closer to B4 rules because they're gonna get confused, in my opinion.
I am outside of that sphere, but as like an outsider, like watching it, it does confuse me why you wouldn't want to align more with the official rules when your goal is to hopefully be participating in like the worlds and stuff like that. And it just, for me, it just makes sense because I'm very like black and white with stuff like that. Like I always look at the WBO rules, and I can't help but feel like it feels like it's a little bit like more anime inspired rules. Like that's
Well, I mean, for me personally, I find WBO rules more fun. But because occasionally we will do B4 rules down here in Texas for tournaments for like high prizes like Airpexes and Cobalt Drake every 2 months or so. And one of the things that with that is I find B4 rules more challenging and stressful, while WBO it seems like, oh, it's a lot more fun, but you can still take it seriously.
Yeah, there just needs to be a good, I think, middle area for them, or if anything, have those be the casual format rules, and then if you're doing like ranked or something, have them be B4 rules or something, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know, because that's something we actually just talked about in Los Angeles too, where like we're kind of like, wow, we need to like actually get closer to the B4 rules because the WBO rules completely made us unprepared for the tournament, because that's not what we're doing in the official rules.
Because I'm like it, and I'm sure no one is against there being other formats and stuff like that
Oh no,
existing. Because
yeah.
like the variety is like the spice of life or whatever, and it's fun to play in like
Yeah.
like gimmick tournaments. You know, like they have to be all this color. Like love that shit. But I feel like if you're trying to get like higher level organized play, consistency just helps everyone involved. You know.
Oh, definitely. I also actually want to say this too because I mentioned it to Ken too. Because when I talked about the WBO, I mentioned the formats they played, and he kind of side-eyed me, low key.
Like
No,
you,
yeah,
a different format.
no, yeah, because I told him about deck format, and he was like,
Yeah.
"What?" And he was like, and like he literally was like, "Well, if we work with them, we're not going to be doing that."
Yeah. They're gonna go. These are the rules.
Uh,
Play these.
Yeah, exactly.
if he doesn't like WBO, he'll really hate when I do 5G tournaments.
I mean, Beyblade always like evolves into from 3G to 5G anyway, doesn't it? We're about like a year or so away from 5G and X, probably. I imagine we'll have
Oh man, that's crazy.
we'll have 5 members, and I think this could be the first generation we get like a 4G format.
No, that would be crazy.
Sure.
That would be interesting.
I'm only saying this because of the composition of Team Persona in the manga and the fact that they want
Yes.
X to be faster. So they'll probably be like, 5's a bit too slow, but 4, that's that's something. That's something.
That's a good perfect mix.
That's crazy.
And so what is the next big event on the North American Beyblade calendar after this?
Would it be yours, TMS?
No, I would say Beyblade South or not Beyblade
Oh.
South, Beyblade West, since
Oh,
that's coming
right.
up at the end of this month.
Cool.
That's in my hometown.
Yeah, I've been seeing murmurs
Yeah,
about it in the
I
Discord.
wish I could come out for that, but it was like
You
I
just went
had
to
to
LA.
pick one or the other. It's like, do I want to become a national champ or do I want to become the West Coast champ?
You're like, I don't even live here.
It's like I want to win South first before I win West.
That's completely fair. West is
But
gonna
yeah,
be
no.
crazy, dude. Oh my god.
Actually, down here in Texas, we're potentially gonna break our biggest tournament to date on July 19th. There's at the moment, I believe, almost 120 people signed up for this tournament. Beyblade South broke 102 people, so there's gonna be that for Texas, and then there's the multiple different state qualifiers that are going on for Beycon,
Mm.
and then Beyblade West. And then for sure, then in September, Beycon itself with its national event.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit about that for a minute, man. You're on. We might as well hear about
Yeah.
it.
So Beycon is a kind of, as we had learned about Hasbro and how they were doing Anime Expo and that being the only 13 plus event, and we weren't even getting any regionals for it. A lot of us in America felt very pissed off about that. And
That's
so
not
I
like an
said,
American.
all right, well, huh? And I said, I'm already kind of putting on a Texas convention where it's like, yes, we have almost over 700 people that competed in at least 2 tournaments within the last 6 months. So getting, say like 110 people to come to a 3-day convention event, plenty possible since last year's awards for a single day got 60 some people. So that was already kind of in the works, and I was like, all right, I got to pay for the Beyblade Awards somehow for it to be in person, so why not do a Beyblade kind of convention event for Texas? And then as we learned that information from Hasbro, I said, fuck this shit. All right, you know what? I'm going to give the Beyblade community its actual regional event that it should deserve. So I'm going to reach out to as many states as possible to give them a state qualifier to at least then go compete in nationals, which would be held at Beycon, Corpus Christi, Texas, September 12th to the 14th. Buy your tickets now. It's Link in description.
Yeah,
$45
you need
now,
to
and then
fax me that
August,
link.
$65. I had to
Okay,
plug it.
man.
I'm sorry.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Gotta do the
Absolutely.
shameless plug.
True.
But and get as many states as possible to then come on down, compete.
Mm.
We're even bringing in Beyblade South champion to come on in, and then with Beyblade Awards, try to get as many content creators to come on down, because the goal in mind was, well, number one, this is for the Beyblade community. I'm not really trying to make any profit off of this whatsoever. So I'm trying to make things as cheap as possible for everybody here, while still being able to pay for this massive venue and get everything going. And then on top of that,
Mim turns up in a private jet, even though he lives nearby.
I burned out myself so much, I'm like, I lost my train of thought.
But yeah, no, it's awesome that you're doing it, man, and it sounds pretty exciting. Do you have a estimate on like numbers you're expecting to compete?
Right now we're shooting high. We can sell up to 400 tickets, so we're making the tournament saying it's up to, the national tournament is up to 400. So even if you don't win a regional state, you can still purchase a ticket and still compete.
Awesome.
But right now we're sitting at a good 60-ish people. There's a lot more people that said, yeah, I'm definitely coming, but I haven't, paid for the ticket yet.
Of course. Yeah.
Beybladers, they're very traditional on paying till last minute for their ticket, their hotel, whatnot, just to get to the event.
Yeah.
I tell you, they are so much like that.
Yeah, it's you get a lot of because even though I'm pretty committed to Beyblade, like you still have that thing of like, can I justify like make like spending this much money on travel and accommodation and like time away from my family and everything else, and like rushing around to like justify going to a Beyblade tournament? The answer is always yes, but you sometimes sometimes it has to bounce around in your brain for a couple days.
No, yeah, I mean that's what happened to me. That's what's happening to me too, because I have grad school starting that week. So
yeah,
so I'm like, I don't know. Still like not sure. I'm like,
I'm like, come on, please.
I know.
Nice. So just to we can come back to it if you guys got more questions, but just to jump away from the North American nationals at the moment, Juicy. I know we've talked about it a little bit, but we haven't had a full chat on the podcast or anything yet about how the Aussie nationals went, have we?
No, not yet. Sorry.
Do you want to give us a bit of a summary of your experiences?
No, thank you.
My experience, I went in 0 confidence and left with even less confidence.
That's crazy.
Hey! Progress is progress.
Real.
You moved the dial.
My first match, I from my experience, just for myself first. First match was a loss. I lost to a guy who just opened up a fresh Wonder Wizard
Oh, no.
on disc ball. I had my Phoenix Wing 360 low rush, and I lost the spin finish, and then my Phoenix, which did something that it has never done until that point, and it hasn't done since. I used it again, and it went fine. It self-extremed against the
Damn.
Wonder Wizard on disc ball.
He really said, not today.
Yeah.
So that, and it was one base single elim for us, so that was the end of my career.
Damn.
That's crazy. Not an end yet. There's still a chance.
But the how was the running of event in your running of the event? I'll use actual English to ask this question. In your opinion?
I mean, it seemed to go fairly well. I'm not too I wasn't really. I was there, but I wasn't there. After I was out, I was doing my own thing in the side. It seemed to go all right. I don't know how judging went for us, but a lot of people were still pretty disappointed with the whole thing, considering throughout the whole thing from the start to top 8, it was all just one single bay. We
Okay.
didn't get to have a deck. We didn't get to have
Oh,
elevate or level, like nothing that TT has. So it's everything that Hasbro has released so far, including their own specific colors and nothing else for bays themselves.
Yeah.
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 From looking at what everyone else was using, there wasn't a lot of rod ball for us as well. There was a lot of just pure attack, just everyone going all out, especially with Phoenix.
You
The
guys have
winner,
Hover Wyvern too, right?
yes, which I should have fucking used that. I had Wizard Rod 160 Hexer as well prepared. I had Wyvern prepared, and I ended up going with Phoenix, which just did me dirty. But
Never trust the
winner-
Phoenix.
yeah,
Phoenix.
winner ended up- well, like
Phoenix stuck.
before that, for our practice stuff, we had a whole, pretty much like the last like half of our season was dedicated to Hasbro stadiums and practicing.
That's really good though.
Granted, I never went to them, but
Don't-
except for one of the, we did one at the end.
There's
at
the
local
missing
one.
piece of the puzzle. Damn.
I practiced at home.
He's like, I wonder why.
I practiced at home with the stadium, and then and at our local event down in Still City.
Mm.
But yeah, for me, it just went all downhill. The winner, who was he's part of the BBAN. He's one of us.
Mm.
He used Phoenix 760 low rush, I think.
Oh yeah, 760 Phoenix is very good.
Yeah, it went well for him.
Mm.
So shout out to him. He got the gold drawn.
Are you guys
got
getting sword
a
or
little
brave?
trophy.
We're doing sword.
No, Australia. Like,
Yeah,
'cause-
we got sword.
okay, yeah, makes sense.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
just because I know you guys have your CX releases now, so I didn't know if they would have
Yeah.
immediately given
Well,
you brave.
Has Japan even gotten the gold braves yet and the silvers? Have they come out?
They
Oh,
they
That's what we're winning at the
yeah, they
moment for
should've-
G1s. Singapore already gotten Braves,
should've been
we'll be
G1,
doing
yeah.
Braves at the end of this month when we have nationals. The last G1 here was for Braves, I believe. No,
Get a
the
brave
the
blade.
last one was for Sword, sorry. But yeah, it is Brave from now on everywhere.
okay, cool.
I see.
I don't think there was a lot of people from Hasbro there. It was just the people they hired to represent them and stuff.
Yeah.
That we did have our BBAN creator / head tournament organizer Zero helping them out a lot. He was on the site just being an absolute machine.
Yeah.
He looked like he was going to collapse at the end.
Oh my god.
Real.
Yeah, I don't know how Mim is still standing, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
I was awake for 36 hours during that tournament. I almost collapsed.
Oh,
he
man.
never sleeps.
I'm not looking forward to the travel the day of nationals because I'm working all day the day before. It's my normal job. I'm a judge and referee for ADCC, so I'm head judge for Thailand. I'm gonna be 8 a.m. I'll be there till sometimes I'm there till gone midnight, but I'm gonna try and get out before 11 p.m. That'll be all of my Saturday. And then on the Sunday, I'll be flying to Bangkok at 7 a.m. So I've got to leave mine about 5 a.m. at the latest. Get to the airport, get
Damn.
checked in. No, it'll be earlier than that because, yeah. So, and then I gotta get there, and then I've got an hour and a bit to get from the airport to the event. Because, yeah, I'm pre-registered. We've got 520 players already pre-registered, and they're opening up walk-in registration on the day. I think we're going to have a capacity of about 580. And it's definitely going to get filled. Whatever number they set the capacity to, it will get filled. But yeah, I got to get there, queue up, and then get some breakfast.
I hope you guys don't get trampled. I hope you guys don't get trampled or anything.
No, it's
Yeah.
because pre-registration opened up like it's a month beforehand, so like they did it in like actually I'm lucky because the first time they put it up there was a fault with the link. So and I didn't see that link until like 5 hours later, so I might have missed pre-registration. But the next day I logged on, and literally the first time I checked Facebook that day, the post had just gone up on their page to sign up. I of course I hit it straight away and just filled it out like as quickly as I can. Like I'm pretty used to filling it. It's all in Thai, but I'm used to where where I need to fill in what now at this point. Filled it all out, and they post like within like a couple hours later. Like we've closed the thingy because it's already getting like too much traffic. And at that point, we were already at 486 entrants, and I was number 35 to have gotten my and so within like a minute of the link going live, I was still only like number 35 to like fill it out. But then a couple hours later after that post, they said they were going to open it up again for like one more round of like signups before we close the pre-registration. And within like I think 30 minutes, like they had put up the post following like, we've closed it again because we're at 520 entrants. And by this point, I was already trying to send the link to some of my friends that had missed it the first time around, but they didn't manage to get it in time either. But now they're going to have some walk-ins on the day, and it's either going to be like 560 or 580 players. I think they're capping it at. So it's going to be it might be a bit pushy shovey for the walk-in registration on the day, but everyone else is going to be fine because it's like we've already confirmed pre-registration. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you got in, Blade. Holy shit.
Yeah, because I booked.
Weird how every place is different.
Yeah, I booked my flights and accommodation like before they put up the pre-registration link. As soon as they confirmed the date, I was like, "Fuck, how do I make this work?" Because I was like looking at the weekend. Normally, I like to get there at least the day before. Sometimes I've gone like the Friday so I can chill out and then hang out during the junior G1 on the Saturday and get my practice in all the Saturday with people, and then just play on the Sunday. But now it's going to be like it's going to be a bit of a rush. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Wait, is your one open or is it also 13 plus? Like
it's open, so we have the was it like the 6 to 12s, and then we have the 6 plus. But if you enter the 6 plus, you can't also enter the junior one if you're like between 6 and 12 years old. You have to commit to one. Before, I think the first G1 we had here, junior players could do both if they wanted to, but the numbers are just too high now that like they can't justify doing that. Like you couldn't have like 500 juniors or whatever play one day and then all of them be eligible to enter the tournament the next day. That'd be insane. So yeah, it's completely separated now. A 6-year-old could enter the Open if they wanted to, but they would have to forfeit entering the junior category.
Yeah, that was just like the tournament I went to in Shiga. They had the same thing.
Yeah, because we have like, say a typical day in like Bangkok on like a Saturday or Sunday G3 run, it'll be 2 junior G3s first, and then 3 open G3s afterwards. And when I went to Singapore, they did it a bit differently. Bro, some of them are, and some of them they just have God on their side or some shit. I don't know. Like it's just crazy. Like
God in anime.
Just absolute Iron Jesus, just blessed by him. Like this is crazy. It's crazy, but again, there's like you think about how like sweaty and serious us 5 like grown ass adults are about Beyblade. Imagine if we were like 10 years old again and like Beyblade was the only thing in our fucking lives. Like Jesus Christ. Sure. Like all day long I've got my kid talking to me about Italian brain rot shit. Like that was just me talking about Beyblades and stuff to my parents when I was a kid, you know, like just all day long. Yeah, sorry, Sapphire. Juice, did you have any other questions for these gents about the North American scene and the tournament?
I got a few things. No, they're not like, again, not crazy important, but I'll let Sapphire go first.
I'm all good, Juice. Go ahead.
Let's move on to the not crazy important questions section of the podcast.
Now with the
transition.
What's it called? With the convention thing itself, did you guys hang out there after the Beyblade stuff was done, or did you just all just pack it up and go home?
So Eddie and I took the opportunity to make brand connects. We went around and talked to went to booths where they had I think Hoyoverse and Crunchyroll and stuff like that. And we were just looking for brand connects, and we did that. And I had some friends who were cosplaying that I went to meet up with too.
Huge. Mim?
Mim was like, give me my fucking trophy, and he just bolted.
That's kind of how it was. So what happened was, by the end of it, we were still going. Most of everybody from the Texas team wanted to go get food. I kind of wanted to stay for a bit longer and also kind of do brand connects, but I didn't have the fucking money to Uber on my own. So I'm like, shit, I gotta go with y'all.
If only you had some kind of prize you could sell for.
I know. We made that joke. It was like, all right, time to sell these for the highest bidder. Starting price 500.
I'll trade a bronze flat bit for an Uber ride.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Bro, it was like, oh shit. So I wanted to say, but I couldn't, unfortunately.
Nice. I do have
That bit would be like the Uber and a dinner.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least get the Uber driver gives you some Mentos or something.
He can Uber Eats you at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Sapphire, you've been doing a fair bit of traveling. Where have you gotten to play Beyblade? Has it only been in the UK that you've gotten to let it rip?
Yeah, I was in Scandinavia for just under 2 weeks, and I thought, oh, maybe I could, get some blading in because I'm there for at least one weekend, but I just didn't have the space to bring any stuff with me. So, but I have been doing some blading in the UK. So I did a regional tournament in Birmingham, which was pretty big at Games Expo, which was nice. And then I started attending a local thing in Nottingham, which has been really nice, and met some really nice people there.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like I said, it's a completely different scene to how it is in Japan as well. So
Didn't you go
really
to one
enjoying
in France,
the more social
or
aspects.
did you miss that one?
No, I didn't. I didn't play in France. I was just there sightseeing.
Ah, damn.
Mon oui. Yeah, with the so with the not scene and stuff, I imagine it's well, for one, it's probably a lot more casual and just conversational when you're there. I'm not saying casual as in gameplay. I just mean it's a bit more chill in the environment.
Absolutely. It's not me standing outside in a line just staring at the person's back for 20 minutes until it's my go to let it rip. It's literally what it's like in Japan.
Yeah, but it's that awkwardness that I love about that as well in Japan. Just that just natural conformity of okay, we're waiting for something. That's all we will do. We will not do anything else while we wait. Our job right now is to wait.
I also get the honor of being the only person in this podcast to not participate in any world championship style tournament, despite
next
living in Japan.
Next year.
Yeah.
And that's on no part of my own. The UK, we didn't get a 13 plus division tournament.
Did anywhere in Europe?
Japan, no.
Wow.
I think was it only Australia and the US that got 13 plus tournaments outside
I
of
could have
Asia?
sworn I heard something about Spain.
Does Mexico get
Mexico gets 2.
Yeah.
Well, adults, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's 2 adult tournaments that are 13 plus.
Shout out to Emanianko, my boy Manny. channel OG. I know he's going to be going trying to smash it. He's a Plastic Gen content creator, but
Oh,
Oh
sick.
yeah.
yeah, he plays X. He
Hell
plays
yeah.
X. So
Yeah.
Are all the Japan tournaments done for like their selections for the
Well,
World Championships?
no, because there's the because Japan had regionals, like massive, like 500 plus regionals. There were 5 of them,
I
and
think it was
then
512, right?
yeah, so yeah, 512 capacity tournaments, and then there's going to be the GP Cup. The GP Cup is going to be the Japanese nationals, and then so there's it's a small tournament with only the goodness me, how many people? They've got the top 2. I think can go to the GP Cup, and then the winner of the GP Cup will be the Japanese representative.
yeah,
So that's happening in
Mm.
August. So I think that probably going to be the last
that'll be the last
national
nationals. Yeah.
tournament that's happening.
Ah man, it's such a
Yeah,
convenient
and
run up for
Worlds
you
is
guys.
October?
Like, sorry, what were you saying, Juice?
Worlds is October.
October 12th, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Oh.
Oh man, I want to go. I want to go.
I was
No
so close.
spectators. No
I
spectators.
know. I know.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna go anyway. I'm gonna go to. I mean, it's right next to my work. It's
Just go during lunch.
That was
well,
crazy.
it's been on the weekend, so
Yeah, bro. Ah,
Oh,
man. Yeah, I wanna win this nationals. I'd love to be the
Do
Thai
it.
representative, having 0 Thai blood in me. I'm sure I'll be loved by
So
the
fucking
the
hype.
people. That'd be great. Yes,
Do it, dude.
I think because
Hell yeah.
normally the capacity would be like 512, so that's like 9 wins. You have to go 9-0 to qualify, but with the increase in capacity, because it's already above that, it's like 520 already. Like I don't know how they're gonna divide it up, if it will still be like 9 wins. Like if you go 9-0, you're the champ, or if it'll be like 10-0 or some other thing introduced to do whatever. But so far, I've only gotten to top 16 of nationals, so I need to improve on
They're
that.
ever gonna do Swiss like stuff, but I doubt it.
Which would be fun.
there's
Be
no time
nice.
for it though. There's too many players.
Yeah.
That's the issue. I think.
Yeah, the closest thing they do to like tiebreakers that I've had that is like an informal way to do it is like if there's an odd number or something, they do a battle royale, so 3 players, and one goes through kind of thing. And that was before we had the wide stadium.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah,
I think Japan just does buys.
yeah,
Like one player would just get to skip a round. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what it
'cause
is now. But
No, yeah, because part of me is like thinking of how they do it for Pokemon, like when you're doing like Pokemon VGC, because they do Swiss or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I wonder if Beyblade will ever get to like that where you have to do Swiss.
yeah, that's the thing, because it could be if it was like, I don't know, like a 2-day event for like because it is a 2-day event, but it's juniors one day and then like pro the next day. But if it was like, okay, the open event is going to be over like a weekend or a long weekend, and we have the Swiss rounds on day 1, and then the Swiss finals day 2, and then the finals kind of thing, whatever afterwards. Like if it got that size and they were willing to like invest that much in hosting tournaments, like that would be very cool indeed. Like
yeah, it'd be a little more lenient too, because you don't have to, go undefeated completely either.
yeah, it does take the edge off a little bit, knowing that you can drop one and like come back, whereas when it's single elimination, it's like, oh no, I've lost 1 point in 1 match, this could be it for me if they extreme finish me now. Like fuck.
No, yeah, 100%. Exactly.
I do love that high, I don't know if octane is the right word, but that high stress kind of like gameplay as well. I do love that, but it is also nice to know that you're not packing up after 1 loss as well.
Yeah, that's what kind of made me lose a little bit in qualifier a bit. I don't think I actually talked about that, but like basically what happened was when I got to the second round, and it was 2-2, and we launched, and when we launched, I guess I touched the shroud or something, but
Get out of here.
like, but I did, but I, but the thing, but it wasn't called until like later, until like I was about to like I hit him out, I hit the other guy out to get like 4, but the judge like grabbed it and he was like, oh, you hit the shroud, and I was like, what?
No. Late calls are the worst.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was a late call, and I was like, dude, I could have.
Bro, I
Nope.
had a judge in Singapore. I talk about this on a recent channel members video I put up. I had a judge in Singapore fucking shout at me that I touched like the stadium shroud when I actually fucking didn't. And like you can watch in the video, I don't even like get close to touching it. And he was full on like, you don't touch my shroud, you don't touch the stadium in any way. Like, I was like, dude, I've never once fucking interacted with you in my life. You talk to me like this, you might get fucking hurt. Like, chill out for a second. But like he's giving me all this shit, and then afterwards I was like, well, fuck this tournament anyway. But I made sure every launch after that to hit the shroud in some way, and he didn't say anything. And I was like, was that like some like random little ego trip for a second there? Like, what the fuck was that about, bro? Like, say hi first, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
He found out what you do for work and kept quiet.
No, because I don't go around saying like, oh yeah, no, I teach people and also fight people for money. Like that's I don't go around doing that, you
Your
know.
ass.
I go around wearing
that's virtue,
anime
yeah,
t-shirts and
exactly.
looking stoned everywhere. Like I don't carry some fucking
That's crazy.
intimidating aura or some shit like that. But I was just like, bro, talk to people with some respect. Like fucking like.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, bro, don't touch his shroud.
I know, right? It's me. It's me. I'm just coping.
No,
Just
yeah.
But yeah, guys,
How dare you?
I've been enjoying this a lot. Is there anything you guys want to plug or shout out or talk about before we?
Wait,
Yes.
before they do that, Jacob, a good friend of ours, a good friend of mine, and Sapphire. His name's Cube.
He hates me,
says
though.
He's your biggest fan.
He says what?
He says he's a big fan
Oh,
of you.
Oh yeah. Also,
And also
Thanks,
he asked,
Q?
and then for Mim, he said nothing. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
You could have just said
and he
nothing,
also-
but you had to say that.
I have more
Thank
videos
you.
coming out.
Oh,
I
cute.
have my AX video coming out on Saturday.
Hmm.
Actually,
nice.
it's gonna be. I'm
He
working hard on
asked,
it.
when you're both, or when or if you're both coming to Australia.
I don't. Maybe in like 3 years or so. I don't know.
3 years?
After I finish grad school, I have to finish grad
God
school
damn.
first.
I gotta get money.
Yeah. Once
So you-
Mim's done
so you
a
know.
Fire Island for everyone for Beycon, then he'll be jet setting everywhere. But
Exactly. Yeah.
Damn.
Just to piggyback off of that, Jacob and Rory, you guys have fans in both Singapore and Thailand. They bring you guys up to me now when I interact with my Asian brethren.
Oh, really?
They're also aware of you, Min, but you freak people out, so like they don't know what to do.
Oh, I freak people out? Ow! What did I do?
It's the Lego
Oh,
Beyblades.
It's-
The Lego Beyblade? It's the Lego Beyblade?
Plus, he has one on hand.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Let's go anywhere without it.
Yeah, that's been a treat, honestly. Actually, I wanted to actually mention that I had me, Eddie, and Leftburst did a fan meetup at Anime Expo, and I actually like I didn't think a lot like a lot of people were gonna like actually come. Like, but people did. It was actually like really surreal, very very surreal.
It helped that you set up your stand in the queue to sign up for the tournament. just shaking everyone's hand like, welcome, thanks for coming.
They're like, can I get your
Another way of
autograph?
putting it.
I was actually like, I would probably got, but I was really flattered when I got to Singapore, like the reception of the dudes there, because like people from the Discord knew I was coming already, and like really helped me out, like organizing, getting to tournaments and stuff like that. But like when people realized like I was Blade BX, they were like, "Oh shit! Like we watched just that." I was like, I had to like sign a couple bits and pieces, got a couple like Beyblade parts given to me and shit like that, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice." Like,
You gotta wear the mask,
Wow.
dude.
yeah.
Hell
This
yeah.
is the mask. This is the mask. I ripped this one off, and it's just because I do forget sometimes that like I was pretty much on camera for like the start of my channel and stuff like that, and as I've gotten like lazier and lazier, I just use my little like profile pic whenever I'm doing a voiceover. I'll now we've got merch. I'll make sure to be on a camera more often so I can plug it. But
True.
I guess we'll put a link to that in the
Plug the
description.
store. Plug the store.
yeah. So I haven't shouted anything about it yet because I was waiting for samples to arrive. But one thing I do want to say before I shout out the merch is shout out to everyone who's already been buying the fucking merch without it even be like I've not been able to like comment on the quality and stuff like that until like the last couple of days when my stuff arrived. But people have just been like, "We want Bega merch now." So I've got them nearby actually. There's more designs than this that I've got on the store, but people have been asking me about Bega tops and just before I even started doing the Bega stuff like Blade BX shit. And ages ago, like probably like a year and a half ago, I did an attempt at getting some like esports style t-shirts and stuff ready in that, but I wasn't happy with the quality and the logistics of posting that stuff out mainly to like people in the US from Thailand was just not worth it. So for a while I've been looking at different kind of like print on demand sites and stuff like that you can use, and I've been a bit untrusting of them because in previous businesses I've had like my martial arts gyms and schools and that I've only ever done like I buy a batch of like gym t-shirts or like vests or rash guards and shorts, and then I sell from what I've got already. So this print on demand I was a bit skeptical about, but like stuff's arrived and I'm stoked. So I've done a few different designs. So all the artwork's drawn by me as well. So that's another reason probably to avoid it. But we've got the X Tower FM design for the people who
I
are
hope people.
a fan of
Yeah, I hope people mess with it.
Berserk type things. This is so far the bestseller. Berserk Blade, or the Millennium Blade as
Not
I've called it.
XRFM. Oh.
That's crazy.
And because we like to say it in chat, we've got the Bega design long tees. This one's actually for my wife. She saw this and she was like, "I'm into that shit." So we picked that
Love
up.
that one.
And then we have
Love
got the straight up, and we've got not just like the big prints as like pocket prints and different stuff, but we've got the Bega representative tee. But we got some other funny cool stuff like so. Oh shit, stickers. What the fuck are they? So yeah, we got like stickers and shit. Some like kiss cut stickers and stuff on there. So yeah, I'll check the link down. It's through Fourth Wall Designs. So if you've had any experience with them before, I've only had like positive experience with them so far. The customer service as a creator on there has been super good. They get in contact with you about anything straight away because we've got baseball caps with like printed designs, stitch designs on as well. And they got in touch with me when they needed to adjust the design for stuff, and it was done and sorted within like half an hour of them. Like very, very cool. So yeah, thanks to everyone who's already getting the gear. I'll share a link in the description, and YouTube's always telling me to tag products in videos, so I'll figure that out at some point, I guess. But yeah.
If I can interject,
Mm.
Mim, how's your merch going? Because I remember some of the fucking shit you have, and it is rough.
We don't
I didn't know
talk
about this
about
one.
the
Tell
merch.
us.
We don't talk about the mim flops, okay?
Yes,
Whoa,
Mim
what?
flop.
Flops, yeah. I
It
remember
is so
that.
Is that the
good.
name of the merch, is it? Okay.
We don't talk about the mim flops, all right?
I still need to
They're
get one of them.
TMF.
Bro, now you've got like a third in like US Nationals. You can just do like signed like pictures of you holding up your just take like a really shit picture on your phone of like your launcher and your Duran sword, and just sign those. Just
Yeah.
okay.
Be like, oh yeah.
Can you please take a picture of them, like, but like do it professional, like really well framed and everything, really well lit, but in one of your fucking janky ass home built stadiums. Like, just like, that'd be amazing.
Go buy the mem flops, and I might have some signed.
Amazing. I'd buy it. I'd buy it immediately. Your market's right here, bro.
No, it's horrible because on stage I was losing grip with my flip flops to my feet. So I really wanted to take my flip flops off on stage and go
Yeah.
bare grips on stage.
He had his fucking grippers out the entire time.
Bro,
They're all free.
You're talking to someone who blades in Asia. I'm like barefoot most tournaments. The legend of Barefoot Blade.
I so wanted to, but I knew people were about to be like, what in the actual world are you doing?
Meanwhile, I'm wearing my Air Jordans.
Yeah, let's stop talking about Beyblade for a moment. Let's talk about America's hang up on feet for a little bit, shall we?
Oh my god. That's crazy.
Amazing, guys. Very, very happy with that. Thank you for sharing your experiences with Anime X and the Nationals. Jacob, well done for getting in there anyway and getting involved. And thank you for all your correspondence with the higher ups in the tournament. Mim, again, huge congratulations. A round of applause for making the finals.
Thank you.
There's only 2 people better than you right now, and you have to live with that.
I know. It almost wasn't enough.
When the TT Stadium comes, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Don't worry, I'm coming for you too. I'm coming for you.
That's it.
I'm gonna drop launch on you.
And I'll reverse X into you with hover.
Oh shit!
I'll delay drop into
Learn
you.
later.
I'll be on the sidelines commenting like Speedwagon. That's like battling in their minds.
That's why I got you.
Like it's been foretold now on this podcast. This is exactly how the battle plays out in 1 year. Like
Yes, sir.
In finals, we'll in
Shout
top
out
8 we'll be
to-
battling.
yeah.
Shout
Yes,
out
sir.
to Gojo as well for making it to top 8.
Yes.
Oh
course,
yes,
yeah.
sir.
And of course, is it Elena? that
Yeah,
got first?
yeah.
Yeah.
She's from
Elena Bailey.
SoCal.
I know.
Is she a creator?
She
The name
no.
looked very familiar.
She's not a creator. She what's it called? She I think just started playing she started playing at West last year. That's when she started playing Beyblade X.
Wow, and already gone to Japan.
Congrats
Yeah.
to her.
Some people
Big
just have it all, man. Like
Yeah.
there's people like me that have to do like 200 launches a day just to warm up, and then there's people that just like fucking look at it. And it's like, yeah, I'll win this easy.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, to keep my nerves down during top 8, I was like, "Oh, this is just a fun
Heroin.
casuals match. This ain't
Fun
nationals.
casuals.
This is the casuals." You know, it's like me and the other guy I first faced up against. We were just jamming to the fucking music, just having a grand old time. Meanwhile, everybody else is like, "Oh God, what are we gonna use?"
They're like, we need to lock in right now.
Maybe that's the
Time to
difference
lock in.
between first and third place, though, Mim. What do you think?
Huh?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Nah, honestly, super stoked for you guys. That's very cool. Just stoked for the American scene in general because it looks like it's only gonna like improve
Yep,
now
big
in
scene.
terms of official kind of like support in tournaments. And like I would say, well done to everyone who actually just turned up and kind of showed that there was a scene and there is a need for more support for you guys over there because like
Yeah, if we didn't get enough, like if people ended up just being like, I'm not going to this. If like a lot of people just didn't, so we would have just proved them right, pretty much.
Yeah.
nah, fucking stoked for you guys.
But we showed up in a storm.
Definitely.
Just a swarm of fish coming to circle the damn thing.
Literally too.
a swarm of threatening fish.
Dude, oh my god. I got into the convention like 5 minutes earlier than everyone.
Yeah.
And I was talking to them and they were like, we're not starting lining up until 9 a.m. And then I look to my left and I just see a crowd rushing at me. And I'm like-
I was near the front of that crowd.
Yeah, I was like,
I showed up. I'm like, oh hey Jacob.
I want to ask a question. Has everyone got a Beyblade within arm's reach?
oh fuck. Wait, I have a Dragoon
No way.
on
I
my.
should just use my
got
winning bag.
Yeah.
Blue box.
I want
Wait,
us.
are you-
Let's make.
I'm gonna get my broken arrow.
Let's make a thumbnail.
Wait.
Let's do like a morphing time or something for the camera.
Wait, let me pick up my 7 Tricera presses.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Has anyone got 1 or 7 Beyblades nearby?
Yeah, I actually do.
Actually, I said I'm gonna.
I got my row of fakes.
Amazing. Yeah, give us that.
I also got a fresh Toronto beat.
Give us
that
that.
hasn't
Give us that sweet
Oh,
bronze
wait.
bay.
Should I get my pink one as well?
Get the pink one.
I'll get this one.
Ooh, thumbnail. Beautiful thumbnail poses, boys. Beautiful. I'll get it from the editor later. All right.
I should have done this.
Yeah, we should have gone harder on the JoJo poses. Should have been more spine involved or less spine involved, I guess. All right, boys.
Yeah, please.
I'm gonna use this in top 8 next year.
My audio is
That's
about to become
crazy.
unusable because a monsoon has
At least
just
you
kicked
blocked
up.
it. Yeah.
But
Oh my
before
god.
we part, is there any
Use
thing
the
else we
waffles.
want to plug?
Beycon, buy your tickets now. Show that we have a huge scene out here for another national tournament.
Yeah, Mim, invite some
Sure.
TT people. You got this is the next thing you need to do to show them that Hasbro needs to up their game is invite some TT people to Beycon. Like try and figure out a way to contact them.
Actually, hey, Jacob, you want to help with that?
What? Yeah, sure.
This is what X Tower FM does. It
Or
brings
do you
creators
think that
together.
TT and 80K would shut me down.
Wait, do I have to reach out to them?
I mean, you're the one who connected with them the most. Say like, hey, the number 3 blader for the U.S. is hosting a giant national tournament as well.
So they're like, yeah, message us
He
when
wants
number
you to
2
be
gets in
there.
touch.
He wants you to be there. Your tickets are free.
Can you send
True.
us more bronze drawn swords, please? And, the gold ones too?
That's crazy.
Bro, like you could potentially get your hands on a set of them to hand out there, like especially in the Philippines. The amount of times they hand out the official G1 prizes as prizes for not official G1s is insane. Like there's some dude in America who was flexing his like post of like how many like of the G1 prize like transals he's got like the bronze, gold, and silvers the other day, and I was like, dude, it's just
hell?
buying these from tournament
Lady of the
organizers. Like,
prize
there's
out
no
here.
way like you bought these from tournament winners because they're all still sealed. Like most of like yours is out of the seal, isn't it? When you've been handed it, isn't like some fucking gacha ball or something. That's typically how we get them. They normally open them before you get given them. You don't get given like a sealed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude's buying them backhanded AF and gloating about it, and everyone's just like, nah, salt.
Bro is deflating the price of them.
Yeah, man.
Is that how you got the launches as well? Were you not meant to get them at first? Or did they just have them
They
there?
last minute gave them to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
So-
launches were
Watching the
the
stream,
regional winners, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think.
But I have like
Usually that's
even here for the nationals, people have been handed like the launches as well as part of the prizing, and I've seen like for like the worlds and stuff like that, people got handed like extra like G2, G3 kind of like level prizes for participation and stuff, which is cool.
Can I see that Pegasus again? Jacob? Hey,
So
Crimson.
one done.
Yeah, this is my cracked one.
Ah.
Yeah, it served its purpose.
Mine got a bunch of action while I was in Singapore, but that's about the most I've played it.
You don't want to keep using it until it breaks? Until it like shatters?
As soon as something cracks, I don't think I can use it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, officially, yeah, true.
Yeah, no. Probably best to like stop it there, unless you want to get like one super like cinematic slow-mo shot in the future of like a Beyblade breaking for a video.
No, yeah, there's like it's just like a teeny crack right there.
Mm.
Damn.
All right, boys.
Into a necklace.
I'll call it there. Thanks again for joining. Thanks for the interviews.
Oh
Our
yeah.
first guest.
Yeah, first.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
worry. My
Congratulations.
full vlog video, unedited, really, finally posted all the way through. So there's that link.
Link in
Oh,
description.
sweet. I'll go with that.
Oh God, no.
I'll stop recording now, boys. You can go back to being terrible racists.